Yo, we're back. It's being here. Today we are reacting to a Bleacher Report article that came out a few earlier this beginning of the season, 2021 NBA ReDraft by Bleacher Report. It says, does Austin Reeves crack the top 5? Now, it's looking at medias and articles, especially over the years. One of my favorite things to look at is like redrafts because could I get this out the way? Is redrafts because everything is hindsight. Picking a draft prospect is hard for a lot of GMs to hit for real unless you have really one of the ones that could really have IL talent like Brad Stevens, Sam Presti, even Memphis a little bit. But this is from earlier this season. A lot has changed as we're at the end of this season. I seen who was number 1 already, which made me want to make this video, which is Evan Mobley. Detroit picks Evan Mobley instead of Cade. I feel like that's a crazy take. Honestly, I feel like even in the beginning of the season, that would have been crazy. What I was saying was, I feel like even Evan Mobley at 1, I feel like even if it's based off of the beginning of this season, with everything Cade had done last year, bringing the Pistons to the playoffs for the first time in some years, taking the Knicks to 6 games, I believe, I think you still would take Cade number 1. Now, if this was a year after last year, the year before last year, then I could maybe make an argument with Evan Mobley. But Evan Mobley coming off his DPOY this year, I don't know. I still think you go Cade, and again, you go Cade again this year. It's just what it is for real. 10th on the MVP battle last year in the Eastern Conference. Cade number 2. If Detroit would have gotten Cade, man, and everything still played out the same, man, that would have been crazy. We have either, as a former, the turnovers can still pile up, but he never posted above average shooting percentage. Man, saying Cade is 2 is crazy. Now, Cade is definitely Sengun at 3. Sengun on 3, so the Cavs get it's DG and Sengun. Now I'm thinking about it in context of what their team construction, because some things I don't like about what I don't like about redrafts is sometimes they don't take in like idea of like what the team was created at the moment and what were their pieces, because though I will say the top picks you pick based off of talent, I think later down the line or depending on you do have to pick based off of fit. I think Cade and Evan Mobley, depending on team, of course they're really dependent on teams. I think talent wise they're pretty even, at least at the moment of their careers. We don't know what Evan Mobley could have potential of jumping offensively and even steadily get better defensively. Cade has already had looked like he's taking his leap this year, but can he get even further? Sengun at 3 with the Cavs. At the time they got DG. That's all I just wanted to say. I just wanted to say that later down the line when we look later is context, but I don't want to spoil. Sengun at 3. Okay. Scotty at 4 though, that I peeped and I seen Franz at 5. Low key, I think you take Scotty at 3 in a redraft. I think Scotty's better than Sengun. I do understand the appease though. I do still understand the appease with DG and Sengun. Both playmaking guards. Honestly, that's a Jamal Murray and Jokic pairing for real. Sengun is worse offensive player and defensive player, but like offensive in terms of like skill. But he still has a passive playmaking, while DG is also a better passer than Jamal Murray. So I could see that being a cool little duo. Scotty Barnes at 4. It is what it is, you know. Dang, half decade. It's crazy. The 2021 draft class is 5 years ago. These players is 5 years in their career now. That is wild. I remember them getting drafted just yesterday. Franz at 5. Okay. Original selection at 8. Austin Reeves at 6. You know what though? Austin Reeves at 6 is crazy. It's really crazy for real. Let me read what they say. Austin Reeves rocking into the top 5 if we're basing the redraft off 2025-2026 campaign alone. We're not, and yet he's so close. Reeves on ball is predicted to be number 2 or 3 option. Defense. This is not a bad. It's a stretch where this is not bad for him. And even if this happened in real life, we don't get Caruso because obviously we need Giddey, but That's a nice two. Now 6 is crazy. I feel like it would be a reach depending on the players that are still around here. But this is not crazy because he's near All-Star. If he's in the East, he may be an All-Star. Josh Giddey, I think, is still the better player. Like, I still would probably choose Josh Giddey over Austin Reeves based off of just age, especially as the team at the moment. But either Josh Giddey or like Jalen Suggs. Jalen Johnson would have been crazy though. Not the time we had Bays, but I ain't gonna lie, Jalen Johnson would have been wild. Jalen Johnson 7. Damn, Kuminga's really on his team now. That cut is nasty. I'll be honest, Jalen Johnson. Once you get that cut, you'll definitely be boosted up into like MVP conversations for real. You'll get yourself a shoe deal too. I'm already letting you know. You're getting like 3 million more followers. I'm just being honest with you, bro. You got the skill. That cut is crazy. Yeah, Jalen Johnson, number 7. That's good. I like that. Trey Murphy, 8. To the Magic. He's going to the Warriors. Wow, Jalen Johnson on the Warriors would have been crazy. He would have been crazy. Now, because I was gonna say like the Kuminga pick himself. I think Golden State truly would choose Trey Murphy over Jalen Johnson if they know where these players are. Because Trey Murphy's not bad. His team just sucks, and he's also injured a lot. But if he plays for the Golden State Warriors, maybe he doesn't get as injured because it seems like New Orleans is cursed. But I think Trey Murphy fits the Warriors better than Jalen Johnson does. But Jalen Johnson, man, on this Warriors team would be crazy. He would be crazy. He just can't run a show like that. You got Draymond like that. Off the ball, Trey Murphy would just be a better fit. But Jalen Johnson would be crazy. Trey Murphy at 8. Yeah, Trey Murphy at 8 to the Magic. Give him somebody, because this is pre-Paulo. Yeah, this is pre-Paulo. So this is just that's their first building piece. Jalen Suggs to the Kings instead of Davion Mitchell. I agree. 9 is not a bad spot. Jalen Suggs is a weird player. Even I'm gonna be honest with you, even choosing him at 9, it's still like this is a Kings move because there's no reason for him to be. There was actually no reason for him, a guard, to have been drafted at this spot when you already have Hallie and you already have De'Aaron. There's actually no reason to draft a guard at this position right at this moment. But if you did have to choose one, Jalen Suggs is not a bad one. But Josh Giddey to Memphis, this is what they wanted originally. They wanted Josh Giddey, yeah, over the Kings. I can see the Kings getting not the Kings. I can see the Magic getting Josh Giddey at 5. I could completely not 5, at 7. Ooh, the Magic got Franzo too. Okay, they started their thing with 2 wins. I think Josh Giddey might have been a selection, either Josh Giddey or still Jalen Suggs at this position, just based off of fit and what they had going on at the time. But Josh Giddey to Memphis. Shout out Josh Giddey, man. Number 10, always got love for the Aussie. Charlotte gets Jonathan Kuminga at 11. James Bouknight. This was such a terrible pick. Those picks is what set franchises back, bro. Because James Bouknight at 11 is nasty. There's not much to say. It's nice. It'll be a nice fit though. It'll be a nice fit. Herb to the Spurs. Josh Primo. Now Herb would have definitely gotten paid at this time. So we about 5 years later. But Herb on this team would be crazy now. If Herb is on the Spurs to this day, they're the best defensive team ever. And we just seen the Thunder last year. But this team would be even better. You have the best. I think Herb is the best guard defender in the league. He has all the tangibles and tools to do it. I've seen him do so. Herb is that guy. Herb next to Vic is wild. I don't want to lie to you. Herb at 12 though, okay. Q Grimes, 13. Q Grimes at 13. To the Pacers, they Chris Dorter instead. This seems like it's like the same dang near same archetype. Q Grimes is just not crazy this year. Aaron Wiggins. My guy, Aaron Wiggins. Definitely a Moses Moody archetype, really. Would he have fit the same role? Would he be able to flourish like Moses Moody? Shout out Moses Moody. Though he had that bad injury, he had a pretty decent year this year. Hope all well. Aaron Wiggins, my guy, he saved basketball. Not doing too good this year, but okay, I like that. Wings are 6'6" and play with 11 out of 10 intensity. Can shoot threes, get to the boom, boom. It still happens almost perfectly. 11 out of 10 can shoot. Yeah, he can do that. The 26-year-old freelance, a little too much on offense, but he gets better at reading the room each year. Don't let the modest court time fool you either. He would be in 30 minutes per game if he played anywhere other than Oklahoma or Houston. That's interesting to read about that. I'm wondering what they predicted the standards to be at the beginning of this year. Because this made it seem like he wouldn't get 30. I would think he would get 30 in Houston. Just as just another player that could offensively score that Houston clearly has a lack of. I would think he would, but they probably were really high on Houston this year. The Wizards 15, Jalen Green. That's a big fall off. Wow, that's actually a huge fall off. You don't think the Pacers will get Jalen Green before the Spurs would try Jalen Green before? Even maybe Memphis would try Jalen Green, even though I heard they really wanted Josh Giddey. I don't know if I fully agree with that. Cam Thomas. Seeing where Cam Thomas is now, he's out of the league at this moment. Kind of sucks for real because he is a real bucket getter. 16. He's talented though, so a team would definitely make a flyer, and Houston's not a bad option as a Jalen Green supplement. Cade and Jalen Green does kind of a nasty little combo, and I'm not talking about nasty in a good way, but IU at 17. Trey Murphy was there. Okay. Deuce McBride at 18 over Trey Man. Deuce wouldn't have been bad. He wouldn't have been bad. 19 Salty Adoma. Kai Jones. They had 2 lottery picks. And they could have picked up any other player that really helped them then better. And they chose James Bouknight and Kai Jones in the same draft class. Yo, Charlotte was really down bad in their draft history for really such a long time. They really only hit their past 2. Maybe just really this past year, because Tazon Salon was last year, I'm pretty sure, and he still is pretty bad. So really only this year they just had pieces. But maybe that was 2 years ago. Brandon Miller might have been last year. Well, Brandon Miller was the Vic year. So it was last year. All right, Sam Hauser, number 20. Yeah, Sam Hauser could get drafted, of course. I guess this is based off talent, because I don't know if you. This is to the Hawks. Get another shooter next to Trae Young. That could work out. Another shooter next to Trae Young. Indiana Pacers, Moses Moody. Q Grimes and Moses Moody seemed redundant in the same draft class, I'll be honest. Clearly, that's why they went guard and center. So I don't think they would go Moses Moody. But talent-wise, he could go there. Corey Kispert. Okay, decent. Justin Champagnie Jr. is the one that's crazy. Justin's still nice, though. To Houston, if they had him now, if they had Justin now, that team would be a lot better. He's still on the same original team. That's interesting. His brother went to different teams, but he's still on the same original team. Because now, in this position, I think you have his brother getting drafted higher than him. But New York get Denver, Jose Alvarado. Okay, I like that pick for them. This would be a nice pick for them now. But he'd probably be on a different team by now in 2026. Just because his offense does not make up enough for their defense. But he might get paid. We look at Christian Brown like that. Day'Ron to the Nets. He still goes there. Trey Mann to Philly. Yeah. Nah, he definitely could go to Philly. I don't think any other team above, maybe other than Trae Young there or Trey Man there. I could see the Nuggets picking Trey Man as he's the same archetype as like Bones, a scorer. They got Cam and K. Yeah. Damn, they drafted Josh Chris. They went Jalen Green, Sengun, and Josh Christopher. They went 1 out of 3. Well, I guess you still get KD from Jalen Green, so I'll give it 2 out of 3. But just because you do get KD, not the actual player, but you do get KD. All right, 29. Lemens Cater, I won't lie to you. By the end of this year, he's actually pretty higher on the list. I wouldn't agree with him being at 29. I think he's really first big off the board. Well, first big that's not all-star. Like, I think he goes to New York before. I think he goes to New York. I think either he may go to Charlotte. No, I won't say Charlotte. Yeah, no, I do think he goes first big off the board to New York instead. That's a nice big pickup. And then Isaiah Jackson to round it off. It's not a bad list for real. I wish it did take in context more of team fit and also in comparison of who they drafted, because clearly there's an idea of a player archetype that they wanted. Like just like the Nuggets, they picked up Bones, then take up Jose Alvarado. You know, it's like I probably would take Trey Man. You know, but does it work out? I don't know. It's probably a mix of what they had shown and what they have done, and that's pretty much about it. Looks like it seemed like, because again, I would still go K1, but that was a nice little tip. That was a nice little article. Shout out Dan for it. Shout out Bleach Report. Shout out for you watch, yo. Appreciate it. See y'all the next one.